Hey, what's up guys? The Xperia XZ1 is the latest addition to Sony's flagship lineup. I think the count is up to 3 so far. With so many big releases these days, is it enticing enough to convince you to go Sony? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and this is our Xperia XZ1 review. With the XZ1, Sony brings the familiar squared-off Xperia design. But it's been upgraded to a premium aluminum unibody. Ours is in moonlit blue. The size is pretty manageable. Built around a 5.2-inch display, it's no behemoth. The top and bottom are plastic, but this helps with connectivity, along with the looped antenna bands on the sides. At the bottom is a USB Type-C port with support for USB 3.1. And at the top is a 3.5mm headphone jack. We're glad to have it, but audio quality through the jack is only average in terms of loudness and clarity. If you switch to the loudspeaker though, you'll enjoy a stereo setup. Sony has tweaked its stereo speakers to deliver a more balanced stereo effect on the XZ1. Way better than a single speaker, but it leaves more to be desired volume-wise. There are 64 gigs of built-in storage and is expandable through a hybrid SIM microSD slot. The phone won't restart if you open this, as long as you don't touch the SIM tray. The power button/fingerprint reader is located on the side of the XZ1. It is fast, though the reader isn't functional for users in the US. And the surface of the XZ1 is sealed, so water won't get in and damage your phone. Up front on the XZ1 is a 5.2-inch LCD display in 1080p. It's not QHD or 4K, but the Full HD resolution looks nicely sharp to our eyes. And is compatible with high dynamic range content from both Netflix and Amazon Video. It's brighter than the Xperia XZ at almost 600 nits, but contrast is about the same, and sunlight legibility is great. The Xperia XZ1 runs Sony's Xperia launcher. It's pretty close to stock Android, but it does have quite a few preloaded apps, both proprietary and otherwise. This is one of the first phones to have the newest Android 8 Oreo. Most of the updates from Nougat are under the hood, but there are some new features available. For example, Oreo's new picture-in-picture mode allows you to watch a video in a floating window while still doing other tasks on your phone. And now when you long press on an app, you can go directly to a list of options. You can also customize the looks of your UI with themes and wallpapers from the theme store. But one of the highlights of the XZ1 is the 3D Creator, which uses the camera to scan a person's face or an object and render it in 3D. This scan can then be used as a digital avatar or even for 3D printing. The results are okay, maybe a bit creepy, but all of the processing is done inside the XZ1 itself. Pretty impressive. Behind all of these features is a Snapdragon 835 chipset with 4GB of RAM. In benchmarks, its performance is about the same as the XZ Premium. It's not a chart topper, but in real-world tasks, the Xperia XZ1 runs smooth and fast with no hiccups. The XZ1 has a 2700 mAh battery, smaller than the Xperia XZS, but battery life is surprisingly better in our proprietary tests, probably due to the efficient 10nm chipset and optimizations from Android Oreo. And with Quick Charge 3.0 support, you can get over 60% charged in 30 minutes. The XZ1 has the same 19-megapixel f2.0 camera as the XZ Premium and XZS. No dual cameras here. With a dedicated hardware key, it's easy to take a quick shot, and the built-in RAM buffer helps the camera take and process pictures really fast. As expected, the XZ1's camera quality is on par with its siblings. In good light, there's plenty of detail and accurate colors, great contrast, and a wide dynamic range. Zooming in, you can see some noise suppression artifacts though. With predictive capture, the camera can detect fast movement or a smile and start snapping before you even press the shutter. It's supposed to make it so you don't miss the moment, but it doesn't always turn on when you need it. Autofocus burst is making its debut on the XZ1. During a burst shot, it enables the camera to refocus between every single shot, handy if your subject is moving. In low light, the lack of OIS makes for really soft pictures. Even with a tripod, it can be hit or miss in auto mode. In manual though, you can tweak it to make a nice shot. Overall, it's not bad, but it's lacking behind its flagship competitors in low light. For selfies, the XZ1 has a 13-megapixel f2.0 front cam with autofocus. Shots have plenty of detail and great dynamic range, although we did notice that beautification is always on in auto mode. Video recording is pretty similar to the XZ Premium, but the UI has changed. 4K video is now in the resolution selection instead of a whole separate mode. 4K videos have plenty of detail, great contrast, and natural colors. 1080p videos have really good quality too, and at 30 FPS you get 5-axis steady shot active electronic stabilization. Of course, we didn't forget the camera's capability for super slow-mo video at 960 frames per second. The videos are in 720p resolution and are at normal speed until you press the button that slows it all down for a split second. It is sort of tricky to open this up on the fly, but the quality is decent if you have good lighting, and you can literally freeze a moment in time. So overall, the Xperia XZ1 is a great smartphone that combines some of the best from the XZS and the XZ Premium into a single device. On top of that, it brings some new features, and having Android 8 Oreo is definitely a big plus. But if you're not a Sony fan, this year's competition has moved on to near bezel-less displays and offers equally good specs. If you're after a Sony phone though, this is one of the best to come out yet. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit those like and subscribe buttons down below, and you can always come by gsmarina.com to find our full test findings. See you next time.